Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Benchmade Bailout in CPM M4 and the diamond textured aluminum scales. I'll tell you guys right now, as far as the whole bailout, bug out, and all the different forms of these knives come in, this is my favorite. It just is. Out of all that stuff, this is, I think, my favorite version. I'm going to do the full review, tell you guys exactly why I think that, and at some point I'll do a battle video of this versus the bug out. But for today, let's focus on this knife. This was sent to me by Tim. Thank you so much, Tim, for sending this guy in. Really appreciate that. And thank you also to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. If you're enjoying the daily content uploads on this channel and you'd like to support me, you can find the link for Patreon right down in the description. Your support would absolutely mean the world to me. Get your hands on some stickers and other cool stuff. And please follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. Oh my gosh, be prepared. Measurement, here we go. Overall length of the Bailout in M4. You can call this 8 inches if you want to count this lanyard loop back here. I'm going to call it 7.75 inches on the usable handle. Your blade length is coming in at exactly 3.5 inches, and then your cutting edge is coming in at about 3.25. Let's do some size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat Model 1. The Rat 1 is coming in at 8.6 inches overall. How about up against the Spyderco PM2? Spyderco PM2 is coming in at 8.3 inches overall. How about up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case the Ritter Hogue? Ritter Hogue is coming in at 8 inches overall. Let's go ahead and put it up against the bug out. Here it is up against the new 20 CB bug out, which we're going to be talking about soon. You can see here there is a pretty noticeable difference in terms of overall length. The bug out actually comes in, I always forget, about 7.25. Excuse me, my nose is all stuffed up today. Maybe 7.3 inches overall, and then your blade length on this guy is coming in at about 3.25, maybe 3 inches on the cutting edge. So there is a difference here in overall length between these two. More to come on that when we do the direct comparison video. How about up against the Spyderco Para 3? Spyderco Para 3 coming in at 7.25 inches overall. And last but not least, the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Mini Griptilian is coming in at 6.75 inches overall. How's the action on this guy? This is an axis lock, and it is running on phosphor bronze washers. You can pick up my flashlight right down in the description if you want to. Can we see in there? I don't know if we can get that bronze reflectivity I'm looking for. Kind of, yeah. Phosphor bronze. Action feels good. This one, oh, actually. Oh, yeah. Oh boy, I hadn't done that with this one yet. Very nice, actually. Blade play? No, there's no blade play. Okay. I wonder. Gosh, that is incredibly smooth. I've handled some new. I'm gonna try that with the bug out here real quick, because this is also a new bug out. Yeah, sometimes the bug out kind of feels like this. So my bug out, when I first bought, the reason I'm lumping them together is because the Bailout and bug out are, in my opinion, part of the same family. Some Benchmade knives do that, and some don't. Most of them act exactly like this bug out right when I get it. It's a little bit tight, right? I found that, you know, with my bug out, when I bought it and then I customized the scales, after I changed the scales, it still had that action. Then after like a week or so of just like letting it do its thing, it eventually started doing this. It started getting really, really smooth like that. And yeah, I think that that's probably the way, you know, the way that the tang is rounded on the blade and how that bar rides over it, right? And then the tightness. And you could probably mess with the pivot. If yours is not doing that, you could probably mess with the pivot a little bit, but I would say just give it some time to do its own thing. Phosphor bronze washers are self-lubricating, so before you dump a whole bottle of lube in there, just let it go. Obviously, it's not going to keep doing that if you're getting it out, getting it dirty every single day, right? This is a knife that's definitely meant to be used, so if you're taking it out and using it all the time, it's going to require regular maintenance, right? But if you're just sitting around on a couch wanting it to do this, just give it some time and it'll eventually do that, at least in my experience, right? Let's go ahead and do a hardware check, get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are listed right down in the description. They are very inexpensive and very recommendable. Oh no, I forget, on Benchmade, pivot's probably going to be T10, so let's go ahead and give that a shot here real quick. Yep, T10 on the pivot. The rest of the screws are T6, and there's quite a few of them. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 body screws because they decided to not just do the floating stop pin thing. Whatever. It kind of sucks that there's so many screws because Benchmade knives are not fun to take apart. And they're T6, which isn't my favorite, but it's not a deal breaker. Just be careful when you're disassembling your knife. Let's go ahead and do carry profile. So, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is definitely thinner. Just for people who want to know, do the thickness up against the bug out. Thickness is exactly the same. Let's do carry profile, height, and length up against two knives that have awkward carry profiles that nobody ever really complains about, the PM2 and Para 3. This is a little bit longer than the Para 3, a little bit shorter than the PM2, and nowhere near as tall as either of them. Considering we are looking at basically a long, thin rectangle, right? Carry profile on this guy is going to be great. These are aluminum scales, and I much prefer the aluminum on this geometry, right? This is a lightweight, thin profile. I actually prefer the aluminum on this guy over the G10 and definitely the FR. I hate the Grivery scales on the basic version. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. They're fine and they're plenty durable. I just hate how they feel to the touch. This doesn't have nearly the same hollowy sound as this, and it's no, I mean, like the Grivery ones, it's just like it's like a Mattel toy. Right? Again, plenty durable, and the weight ratio thing is great. I'll take the excess weight of the aluminum, you know, which isn't much, just to get that feeling out of there, right? These are going to be a little more slick, but that diamond texturing does add a little bit of traction. That's nice. Materials here, we have I'm sure there's still a small steel cartridge liner. Let's look inside there. And can I even show it on camera? Well, I can see it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Right about to this screw, which is what's holding it in, there's a steel cartridge liner. Doesn't need a full body steel cartridge liner because the aluminum frame is plenty strong. Let's go ahead and take a blade stock thickness measurement. These are not thick blades. Not at all. Let me go ahead and turn my thing on. Give you guys a measurement here real quick. Yeah, there you go. Not a thick blade at all. And I think that's fine, considering this is a tactical EDC knife. Urban Tactical. Whatever. Aluminum and some steel. 2.72 ounces. Oh my gosh! That's 0.9 ounces more than the bug out weighs. Here's the G10 bug out. Yeah, a little more than there. And then the FRN bug out or the Grivery bug out's going to weigh 1.85. On this channel, anything that's under 3 ounces is considered ultra lightweight, and any reduction in weight, you know, other models versus this, I consider to be negligible. I know that people will argue with me. That's fine. This, in terms of the knives that I carry, right, is around this size. My weight range is, my preferred weight range is actually more than this. It's actually about 4 ounces to 6.5 ounces because I just prefer internally some solidity, even if those ratios don't make sense. I just don't really care. For some people, you are going to care, and I can tell you for almost anybody, that's a weight. The weight and carry profile of this is pretty much going to work for anybody in any type of pants, any type of carry situation, as long as you're actually wearing pants, right? And of course, as long as it is legal to carry a blade of this length in your area, which is something that you should check on. This is great. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about the anatomy here. We have, in this case, I think this is the only setup of this M4 version that you can get, which is the OD green aluminum scales, and then this very interesting coating here. I don't know if this is DLC. I should have just looked. I wonder if it says somewhere. Oh yeah, no. Do I have the box in here? Oh yeah, I do. Hang on. I wonder if it actually says here on the blade. It definitely is going to be coated with something that's going to protect against corrosion resistance because it's M4, and M4 is not stainless. No, it doesn't say anything. It actually, yeah, there we go. Tactical and everyday. That's the class. It's in the black class, right? Which is, I don't know. I like Benchmade. The whole black class and tactical thing makes me laugh, but it's okay. In any case, it does have a very interesting coating on it. It almost, I don't know. This is sort of pavementy kind of. It's very smooth. It just looks nice. It's not a coating that I've seen from Benchmade before. Looks nice. I'm 99.9% sure it's going to help resist corrosion. which is, like I said, great because this is CPM M4. All the corners are nicely knocked down. The axis lock is very easy to actuate, right? Thumb studs are in a great location. I've always said that about the Bug Out and Bailout series, very snappy, right? The thumb studs are not wider than the frame, which is great. And we actually have a little bit of contouring going on, which is nice. Really nice. I like that a lot. I really do. We have a tanto on this with a little tiny bit of belly. That's great. And you got this secondary edge up here, which is going to be kind of problematic if you're going to sharpen it, on top of the fact that M4 is not friendly to novice or average sharpeners, right? If you're an experienced sharpener, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be someone down there. M4 is easy to sharpen. Yeah, if you've been doing it for a really long time. I actually have sharpened quite a few knives, not anywhere near a professional level. I don't like sharpening M4 very much, right? Now, the nice thing about M4 is while it is not stainless, it is very good in terms of edge retention. It's also a very tough steel for a steel with these types of ratios, which means you're probably going to have a better sharpening experience with this versus 20CV. Why? Because 20CV will probably chip more readily than M4. And if you ever try to sharpen out a chip in a steel like 20CV, oh, I hate it. This is going to be a little more friendly. This is going to be a more just strop it at the end of the day. If you use your knives all the time, strop it, you're probably going to be all right, right? M4 is, for a long time, what they used in the competition, like the gauntlets sort of chopping competition stuff, right? It's good steel, really good. There are some super steels out now where, you know, that are in heavy competition with M4, like K390 and Rex 45. Some people are going to say they're better or worse for certain situations. They're all kind of in the same ballpark. I think M4 is still definitely a contender in that territory for a non-stainless super steel. This is powder form CPM M4. Good stuff. Great stuff, actually. I think it'll be around for a while. Moving back here, we have a lanyard loop thing and glass breaker for those of you who break glass at all. I'd rather this not be here and it'd be back here. But then it wouldn't be, you know, this kind of gives the Bailout its characteristic profile, right? It has this thing on the back of it. Ideally, that just wouldn't be there. It'd be back here and we just have a larger Bug Out. But pocket clip still carries ultra deep. That's all that's sticking up out of your pocket, right? Pocket clip is excellent. This is one of the best pocket clips Benchmade has ever come out with. Continuous ramp, right? This is rounded off up here. Screws are not recessed, but that's fine. It's going to carry knives. There's nothing wrong with the pocket clip. The pocket clip is great. This uses Omega springs, which people always fret about. There's probably less than a 0.01% chance that those are going to break before they're supposed to. If they do, and you're not doing anything stupid with this knife, Benchmade has one of the very best warranties in existence and will absolutely cover you on that as long as you are following the rules to their warranty. But I don't speak for Benchmade, so you have to call them if something goes wrong. I have never had an Omega spring break on me. Never. And I've had tons of Benchmade knives, tons of other types of knives that utilize Omega springs, like this Ritter Hogue that is literally flipped out multiple times daily because it is a size comparison knife. Not that it's being used all the time, right? But it is certainly being flipped a lot. A lot, right? That's the Able lock, but it's the exact same idea. Omega springs on an axis bar, right? So there you go. Do with that information what you will. Captive pivots, right? If you've ever taken apart a Benchmade, you know that it involves a lot of holding this down and all that stuff, right? Truthfully, this is great. Like I said, no blade play, up, down, left, or right, and the blade is, wow, it's centered. Yeah, it's centered on this guy. That's great. I wonder if it's centered on the Bug Out. I got 2 of these 20CV Bug Outs. Yeah, it's good. Honestly, I keep saying this to let people know. I think the more new Benchmades I handle, the better opinion I have of their quality control. For a long time, they had some pretty serious quality control issues. I'm not saying that it's absolutely been perfected because I don't handle every single Benchmade that comes out of the factory at all times, right? But as far as the Benchmade knives that come through my channel, the newer ones here recently, they've all been really good. So I want people to keep that in mind. I think especially with some of these newer models, I think they're making a much more solid attempt to make sure that all the little things like, you know, like the cutting bevel, like the final cutting bevel and the blade geometry, the centering, the lockup, things like that. And boy, that is freaking smooth. That is awesome, right? While this still isn't a knife that I am just like ready to beat down somebody's door to get, I do like this a lot more personally than the Bug Out or the other. That other Bailout was kind of a mess, right? But yeah, now here's the problem with this. Honestly, all the way around, I think this is great. Little nitpicks, right? It's a Tanto, so you got two separate edges, right? M4 is great steel. It's not going to be super fun to sharpen. It's not stainless, which means it's not going to be for everybody. If you live near water or live in an area where corrosion is going to be an issue, right, then it's probably not going to be for you. This thing back here, I get it. It's kind of the signature for the Bailout, but I don't need it. I kind of just want that, right? But maybe some people want it. There's too much good here, really, to say anything bad. The one thing that's really going to rub people the wrong way is, it's expensive. Imagine that. A Benchmade knife is a little bit expensive. $212 for this guy. Yes, you can get, you know, aluminum knives like this for less, right? M4 is certainly not a steel that you see readily available under the $200 mark. But, and yeah, this knife will perform the same way that a lot of knives that are less expensive, whatever. This is a US-made knife. It's using, you know, premium steel and good enough materials for the handle, right? It's lightweight. If they put too much steel on this guy or made it out of titanium, it'd be a little heavier, though it still wouldn't be that heavy. It really doesn't matter, right? The aluminum's plenty fine. $212 is still a lot of money. Honestly, a lot of what you pay for with Benchmade is how excellent their warranty is. Their warranty is excellent. Excellent. You're hard-pressed to find a better warranty out there, you know, for a folding knife. So all that together, I still think it's a little bit overpriced. We got the Super Freak coming in M4 and G10, right? Coming in at $190, $195. That's, in my opinion, one of Benchmade's best priced knives. I'd like to see this a little less. I'd like to see this maybe match up at least with that. Honestly, you know, truthfully, if this came in at about $170, $175, I'd say it's spot on. That being said, it's not wildly, you know, overpriced. Two examples of Benchmade knives that are ridiculously overpriced are the Mini Freak and S90V and carbon fiber at $270. Bull! Crazy. The Autocrat at and the Infidel at 400 and some. What is the Autocrat 400? 350 to 400, and the Infidel's even more. Ugh. And then you know, the 940 and S90V and carbon fiber. Benchmade's most overpriced knives, or some of their most overpriced knives, right? This guy, not so much. It's a little overpriced, but it's still recommendable. This is absolutely a recommendable knife. It is far and away my favorite stock version of any of the Bug Out or Benchmade Bug Out or Bailout knives that are available. I do like the 20CV variant. We're going to talk about that one, but I just like this one a little bit more. I like that there's a little bit more room on the handle. It feels just a little bit more robust, and it still manages to come in very lightweight, right? I think they got the materials right on this guy. I think the materials make sense. Having a steel that has a little bit of a tougher composition going in this geometry, you still get to enjoy the incredible edge performance and edge retention, along with some necessary toughness in situations you might find yourself in with this knife. I think you absolutely can take this thing out and really use it. Right? This isn't a cold steel triad lock, right? So don't, you know, obviously, those of you who use your knives as diving boards or grappling hooks, right? This may not be your thing. I'm joking around there, but yeah. This is a recommendable knife. It'll be going on my Benchmade Knives playlist, along with all the other Benchmade knives I've reviewed. It'll be going on my most recommended knives playlist also, so check it out there. Guys, oh yeah, and it's listed right down below. All Bailout knives and Benchmade knives in general will be listed right down in the description. That's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out some of my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive, expensive or inexpensive that I don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.